our series of the book of Hadassah. The English name is Esther.
Yeah.
And the title is, And If I Perish, I Perish. If I perish, I perish. And this has to do with the Hebrew nation when they were in the Medo-Persian Empire, which is the second world ruling Caucasian empire.
Teach it like it is.
And there was a man that got upset with one of the Hebrews. His name was Mordecai, because he did not bow down to him.
That's right.
After he was promoted in this kingdom.
Okay, teach
so what he did was he went about getting a decree to where he could commit genocide on this nation. And so now we're reading about the facts of what happened.
No, not a story.
How Yahweh used this black queen, Hadassah,
Praise the mighty Yah.
and also used her adoptive father Mordecai to deliver his people from being annihilated.
Right.
And you notice, like in different periods of history, the nation of Israel has gone through periods of where people just wanted to annihilate them. They just wanted to get rid of them.
Like today.
So genocide has been called on the nation of Israel throughout their history. And
Teach
you
it
can
like it is.
even see it now with the black men getting kind of picked off. But we want to go in here so we can see how Yahweh is still delivering his people.
Yes, he is.
Still
Praise the
watching
mighty
over
Yah.
them. He's still protecting them.
Yes, he does. Yes, he will. Yes, he has.
We know that's where we run. That's where you go.
Right. That's the only source.
If anything is after you and you want it to get off of you, then you should run
Teach
to
it,
Yahweh.
tell it like it is. I'm sure
Let's go to Hadassah, the 7th chapter. And your Bible is Esther.
Right.
All right. Hadassah 7. And it's very interesting the way Yahweh turned this thing around.
It's a wonderful
and
thing.
The people that had declared genocide on the nation of Israel, we're going to see Yahweh turned it all the way around.
Yes, he does it all the time, no matter what.
On themselves.
Yes, he does.
All right. Hadassah or Esther 7. And let's read verse 2, please. 7 and verse 2 reads,
And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even to the half of the kingdom.
Now what Yahweh showed us in the prior show was that Queen Hadassah, she had to have this man, her adoptive father Mordecai, explain to her exactly what was going on.
Right.
And so Yahweh is showing us the position of the Hebrew man to where he gets the global picture and the Hebrew woman does the specifics. And so Mordecai had to tell her 3 times and explain to her and break down exactly what was going on, and that she was in the position of being a queen in this Gentile nation for this purpose. It wasn't an accident that she was in the position that she was in.
Praise Yahweh.
But she wasn't understanding that.
Right.
And Mordecai, she kept sending messages to Mordecai through her chamberlain. And then Mordecai would send her back and tell her some other details. And then finally at the end, the last thing he sent back to her was that,
Teach it, tell like it is, I'm shepherd.
Who knows if you're not in this position? Exactly, so you can deliver Yahweh's people.
That's how he does it.
Yahweh puts us in position because it's about his people. And he wants his people to have the best. And he wants them to know about him. He wants them to be delivered by him.
Right, that's the only way.
And so he said, who knows if you're not in this position of queen, because you're supposed to stand up and go to the king and tell him, hey, these are my people,
Teach it,
and
tell
there's
like
a
it
decree
is,
for them to be killed. And then he said, but if you don't go,
Right.
Yahweh's going to raise somebody else
He
up,
does-
and
he
they're
does it
going
all
to
the
get
time.
delivered anyway.
Right.
So Yahweh's always going to deliver
Yes,
his
he
people.
is. His people.
It's just a matter of whether we clue in and understand.
Whether we get it.
He wants to use us.
Yep.
And so he said, but if you don't step up, he's still going to deliver his people.
Yes,
Right.
But then he said, woe unto you and your family,
Now he said,
because
woe.
now you put a curse on your family.
Right.
So it was just very
Praise Yahweh.
appropriate the way Yahweh put it.
Yes.
So we can always have the presence of mind that we're not in position by accident.
No, we're not.
Yahweh has a plan, and he's
For all
working
of
out
us.
his plan, and we always need to keep his people in mind,
Right.
so we can do what he's called us
That's
to do,
it.
to protect his people, and so he can get the best of his people that he wants to get. So
Teach it,
here,
tell like it is.
this is after she had called the nation and said, okay, adoptive father Mordecai, this is what we need to do.
Right.
I want the nation to fast for 3 days that are in the city of Shushan, where the palace is.
Right, where they were.
Don't eat food or drink for 3 days.
That's right.
And then she said, after that, I'm going to fast for 3 days too. After that, then I'm going to go in before the king.
Praise
Because
Yahweh.
the rule was, if the king doesn't call for you,
Teach it, tell
then
like
you
it
can
is,
be
so they have to
killed
know.
by going there without being called.
Teach it, tell like
But
it
what
is.
Yahweh showed us was that he is working behind the scenes.
Yes, he does all
to
the
give
time, no
us
matter what.
favor with people.
Yes,
so
he
we don't
does.
have to
Amen.
be
Hallelujah.
afraid or reluctant.
That's
All we
right.
have to do is just
Hallelujah.
understand what he
Stand
told
for
us
thus
to
says
do
Yahweh.
and go do it.
Stand on
So
his
now
command.
she went before the king, and the rule was he would hold out his scepter.
Right.
So she touched the scepter, which meant he was accepting her to come in. Now he's asking her in verse 2. And Hamelech Amar again unto Hadassah on the second Yom at the banquet of Yahim. What is thy petition, Queen Hadassah? And it shall be granted thee.
Wow.
And what is thy request? And it shall be performed even to half of the kingdom.
Wow.
So you see how Yahweh, the scripture said that the mind of the king, the spirit of the king is
It's
in Yahweh's
hands of Yahweh.
And Yahweh was giving her favor
Yes, he
with
did.
this,
Yes, he
this
will. Yes, he
king.
will.
And so she said, okay, you know what, I'm going to prepare some food for you and we'll have a banquet. They had it one day, now we're looking at the second day.
Okay.
And here, he's saying, whatever you want, I'll give it to you, even if you want half of my
Right.
kingdom. So you see how Yahweh had turned
Yes,
this
praise
thing
the mighty
in
Yah.
her
That's how
favor.
he rose for
Okay,
us.
let's go to the
Hallelujah.
5th chapter. Same book, the 5th chapter.
Praise the mighty
Keep your
Yah.
finger in
That's
this
how he
book
rose
because
for
we're
us.
going to be turning away from it, but we're always going to come back to it. But that's the 5th chapter, or Esther the 5th chapter.
Right.
And we want to start at verse 7. That's
Praise
a 5.
Yahweh.
And let's read verse 7. Now she's getting ready to tell him what it is that she wants.
Okay.
All right, verse 7 reads.
Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is,
See?
if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said.
Verse 9.
Then went Haman forth that day, joyful with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
So now we're seeing this scenario being played out.
Right.
And how the king is saying, okay, Hadassah, what is your petition? And she's being humble and she's using wisdom. She's saying, if I found favor in your sight, then I want to prepare a banquet. And so I want you and Haman, she said, let Hamelech and Haman. Now this is the one that had declared genocide on the nation of Israel. I want you and Haman to come to this banquet. And then it says, Haman went forth. He's full of simcha. He's joyful because he's thinking, oh, I'm special.
I know, right?
I got invited to this banquet with the queen and the king.
I know, right?
All right, so he figures, oh, I'm really on top now. I'm really important.
Got the big head.
But it says, at the end of verse 9, he said, he saw Mordecai. Now, this is the black man that refused to bow to him because Yahweh said we don't bow
That's
to
right.
man.
Teach it to like it is.
to
That's right.
the Father
Only
and
to
the
Yahshua.
He said, when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
Right.
All right, go to the third chapter.
Praise
We're going to
Yahweh.
read a second account where he's just really upset with this guy. Hadassah 3 and verse 5.
Praise Yahweh.
Okay. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath.
All right, so he's full of wrath. He's really, really angry. He's trying to figure out how to get even with this guy for not bowing down to him because he's been promoted. All right, let's go back to the 5th chapter and let's pick it up at verse 10.
Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself.
Okay.
And when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh, his wife.
Okay, so he's upset. He's angry with Mordecai, but it says he refrained himself.
Okay.
Okay, and when he came by it or home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh his Ishshah.
Okay.
All right, verse 11.
And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king.
So he's feeling really, really good about himself. He's telling his wife and his friends about how the king promoted him, and he's advanced above all the princes and the servants of the king. Verse 12.
Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther the king did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself. And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king.
All right. So, and then he said, in addition, Hadassah the queen did let no Adam in with Hamelech or the king unto the banquet that she had prepared, but me.
That's right.
So I'm the only one that was invited to the White House.
Real special.
And tomorrow I'm invited unto her with him again, her and the king. So he's really feeling good.
I know, right?
He's really thinking he made it. But the mistake he made was to focus on Yahweh's people.
That's right.
And now he didn't just leave it at, Yahweh showed us, he didn't just leave it at, okay, Mordecai didn't bow to him, just kill Mordecai. No, he says, I'm going to kill all these people so I can show how powerful I am and how well favored I am. Okay, verse 13.
Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
All right, so he's got all this going for him.
I know, right?
And because one person, see how he could have chosen to say, okay, well, forget Mordecai. I'm still promoted, things are still going well. But it's all in how you look at things. But he just figured, hey, you know, this black slave out there, he did this to me. His pride. He said, all this doesn't mean anything as long as I see Mordecai. Hayadim. Right? Israel. Sitting in the king's gate. Not just sitting there, but not bowing when he comes by. All right, verse 14.
Then says Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
Another fatal mistake.
I know, right?
Bad advice.
Bad advice.
Coming from his wife and his friends. He said, then Amar Zeresh, his Ishshah, and all his friends unto him. Let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow Amar thou unto Hamelech, that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with Hamelech. Then you can really celebrate after you've beat down your enemies. No, you're not going to celebrate. Why? Because the good guys always win.
That's right. That's
They're
us.
gonna
Praise
win in
somebody
the
else.
end.
We winners all the time,
Beat
no matter
somebody
what.
down and then think you're gonna go merrily on your way. No, what's gonna come is a multiplied beat down to you.
That's right. Teach
That's
us
the
that like
spiritual
that.
law.
That's it.
You reap what you sow. You put a lot of
Amen.
beat down out here, you're
Hallelujah.
gonna get more beat down coming
That's
back
right.
on you.
Amen.
But they're telling him, go in merrily with the king
I
into the
know.
banquet after you built this gallows to hang Mordecai on. And it says, what they said pleased Haman. So his mind wasn't right anyway.
Right, right.
And he said, okay, build the gallows. Okay, build the hangmans. Okay, hangman's noose. All right, go to the 6th chapter and let's read verse 1. Now Yahweh's timing is impeccable. Now we're going to see the king is going to go and read something that somebody did, all the while this enemy of Israel is building the gallows so they can hang Haman on it, and plus they want to go out and shoot the rest of the nation of Israel. All right, or with arrows or whatever, they're going to kill them.
Okay.
All right, 6 and 1.
On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the Chronicles, and they were read before the king.
Oh, it's something that on this night,
Right.
very night that Haman built the gallows to hang Mordecai on, now the king, on that Layil, he could not sleep. And
Yahweh.
again, Yahweh's dealing with him. And he SABBATH, or commanded to bring the book of records of the Chronicles, and they were read before the king. Now let's see what was in them. Verse 2.
And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, 2 of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus.
That's right.
So Mordecai overheard these 2 men, and they were going to do something to the king.
Right.
And so Queen Hadassah stopped them and had it written in the book that Mordecai had done this.
Okay.
She didn't mention it to the king at all.
All right.
She just made sure it was recorded in this book.
Praise Yahweh.
Now, Yahweh was always working for us behind the scenes.
Yes, he does. Praise
now
him.
he has the king
Praise him.
go and read this.
Right. Yes, he
and
did.
it says, and it was found written that Mordecai had told of these 2 men, 2 of the king's chamberlains, that were going to lay hands on King Ahasuerus and do him some harm.
Right.
Now, verse 3.
And the king said, what honor and dignity has been done to Mordecai for this? Then the king's servants that ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him.
All right, so he's saying, oh, this is good.
Right.
What did we do to reward this man for saving my life?
Right.
And the servant said, there's no honor, there's no dignity, nothing was done for him.
Right.
Now look at Yahweh's timing. Verse 4. Now somebody's gonna come into the court right at that instant. Again, there's no accidents, there's no luck.
Not with Yahweh.
Everything is divine
It's a
timing.
purpose.
Verse 4.
And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king, to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him.
So you see how people can be so out of sync with Yahweh?
Oh, yeah.
It's so opposite of what Yahweh's mind is.
Yep.
And when it comes to his people, again, anybody that comes up against Yahweh's people are asking for trouble.
Yes, they are.
So
it is written.
here is this man in the court, right after the king just asked for what good thing was done for Mordecai to reward him for this.
Praise Yahweh.
Now, he's saying, okay, I hear somebody in the court. Who's in the court? Well, it's the enemy Haman. He's in the court to speak to the king about hanging Mordecai on the gallows. Yahweh has in the king's mind to reward Mordecai.
Right. God said you have favor with him, you have favor with Anah.
Opposite, he's got this guy wanting to kill him.
Yeah.
That's how it is when you're drawing closer to Yahweh.
Yeah.
You have people that have opposite opinions.
Yeah.
Some want to embrace you and some want to get rid of you.
Right.
But when you're following Yahweh, then the best thing for them to do is to clue in and
Yep.
get to the side where
Get with the
they're
program.
embracing you too. So he's getting ready to talk to the king about hanging Mordecai. The king, we're going to see, is going to let him know what he wants.
Okay.
Before he can tell him what he wants. Before Haman can
praise
tell him.
Yahweh.
Verse 5.
And the king's servants said unto him, Behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, Let him come in.
All right, verse 6.
So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, What shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart,
Yep.
To whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself?
I know, right?
See, he's
I
so
know, right?
wrapped up in himself.
So on himself.
Yeah, he's just so out of tune with what Yahweh is doing. It says, the king asked him, okay, so what should I do to a man that I
Praise
really want
Yahweh.
to honor because he's done something good?
Right.
So then Haman's thinking, he's
It's
talking
me.
about me.
Right, it's me.
So to whom would the king delight to honor more than me?
I know,
Sometimes
right?
that's how people think.
Yep,
It's got to be me.
Right.
All right, verse 7.
And Haman answered the king, For the man whom the king delighted to honor, let the royal apparel be brought which the king useth to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head.
Now he's envisioning
I know,
himself.
right?
He's envisioning himself.
Praise Yahweh.
Haman,
Right.
he Amar Hamelech. For Hadam, whom Hamelech delights to honor, let the royal apparel be brought. Let him put on your royal
Let me put your
apparel,
clothes on.
which the king used to wear, and let the horse that the king rideth on, and the crown royal be set upon his head. All right, keep your finger here. Let's go to 1 Kings, the first chapter. We're just going to see where this is what was done in ancient times to honor men
Right.
and women. 1 Kings, the first chapter. And to let you know that they have received a special promotion.
Right.
1 Kings 1 and verse 33. 1 Kings 1 and verse
Praise Yahweh.
33. Praise Yahweh. Hallelujah. And he reads.
The king also said unto them, Take with you the servants of your master, and cause Shelomah my son to ride upon my own mule, and bring him down to Gihon.
Okay, that's honor.
Now, what was going on here was King Dawid, the black king of the nation of Israel.
Right.
He was
Teach it
getting
like
ready
this.
to pass on.
Right.
And then one of his sons, knowing it was supposed to go to his son Shelomah, he decided he's going to take it, and he's going to be king, and he's going to promote himself.
Just come gangster it.
So then it was told Dawid, and then he said, okay, look, take my stuff and put it on King Shlomo. And so then that's letting them know this is the one that's going to be the king.
Right.
This is going to be done decently and in order. It's not like
That's how Yahweh rolls.
the man is arrogant and assuming he should be king. No, Yahweh is the one that tells us who should do what. So it says, the king also said unto him, Take with you the servants of your master. This is talking about King Dawid's servants. And cause Shelomah, my bond, my son, to ride upon my mule. And bring him down to Gihon. Let the people see. No, this is the one that the king has approved. Follow in his footsteps. All right, let's go back to Hadassah, the 6th chapter, and we want to read verse 9. So, Haman is imagining, I see myself riding this mule. I see myself with the crown on. I see myself. And everybody else is going to see me too, which is even better. 6, and let's read verse 9, please.
Then went Haman forth that day, joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
Esther.
6 and 9.
Oh, 6 and 9.
Yeah. That was good.
All y'all are good.
And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of the one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal, whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor.
All right, so he's just beating it up more and more. He says, all right, let this apparel and this horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble Nasi. Not the, lower princes, but the most, the highest, the top princes, that they may array the man withal whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city. He's seeing himself going through the street of the city.
Paraded around.
And proclaim before him. All right, how wonderful he is, and how the king is honoring him. And it said, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor. All right, keep your finger here and let's go to Bereshith or Genesis, the 41st chapter. So we can see this is how they did it in the ancient Egyptian. The Black Hamites, they did the same way.
Okay.
But now it's talking about the Black Hamites honoring a Black Shemite or Israel. And he's saying, let him be, paraded through the street. Let him know, hey, he's second behind me. Genesis 41 and verse 43.
Praise Yahweh.
41 and verse 43.
And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Mizraim.
All right, so this is talking about these Hamites or Egyptians who were black people.
They are the black people.
But they also had the Shemites who were black people.
Praise
and
to
this man named Yosef, and he got promoted to be the second ruler in Mizraim or Egypt. He said he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. This is talking about Pharaoh. Right. And they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler of all the land of Mizraim. All right, up underneath Pharaoh. All right, let's go back to Hadassah or Esther, the 6th chapter. So we see how Haman's got this vision. Seeing himself, and everybody's seeing him promoted. Right after that, he intends to hang Mordecai. Hadassah 6, and let's read verse 10.
Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken.
Now, after all this fancy stuff he's saying, it says, then Hamelech Gamar to Haman, hurry up. Make haste, take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast Amar, and do so even to Mordecai, Yadim. I mean, I know he could have passed out. Mordecai, Yadim, and look, now he describes him that sitteth at the king's gate. Remember that phrase? Where it just really grated on Haman, sitting at the king's gate, and then he's not bowing to me. He said, that sitteth at the king's gate, let nothing fail that you have spoken. All that you said to glorify and honor this man, hurry up and go do it. So he knew that was the end. It's like, it's just, what is 360 degrees? Turn. All right, verse 11.
Then took Haman the apparel and the horse, and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor.
Now look at this, and then Haman himself had to go and do that.
I know, right? Because he was at the top,
It does not pay to it does not pay. It said, then Haman took the apparel and the horse, and he had to put it on Mordecai. He brought him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto Ha'adam whom Hamelech delighted to honor. And here he was, his wife and his friends all knew he had built this
Right.
gallows to hang Mordecai on,
Right.
and all knew that he had planned to kill him, that he hated him, and that he had the decree signed, that the king signed,
Ain't
to
right.
kill all of the nation of Israel in the kingdom.
Teach it tell like it is on the shepherdess.
So he's fallen already. So now,
Right.
after he did this, verse 12, what's going on with Haman now? Verse 12.
And Mordecai came again to the king's gate. But Haman hasted to his house, mourning and having his head covered.
He knew it's like, oh, shame.
Right.
It's like, well, boys,
It's over.
Oh, wow, something
It's
horrible is
over.
going on here. Keep your finger here. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 26. 2 Chronicles.
It's over.
Yeah, Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning.
Yeah.
So Mordecai went right back where
Where you already been.
before, right? So he wasn't, the king honored me. Ooh,
Right. He
Okay.
didn't get the big head.
He wasn't right. He wasn't
He
trying
was,
to he stayed humble. You're
Yes,
right.
it.
He didn't feed into that.
Right.
2 Chronicles 26.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Haman went to his house
He knew it was over.
crying.
Yeah, he knew it was over. Go on.
26, and how fast it could turn around.
Yep, praise the mighty Yah. That's right. Total Raphah
Verse
Yahweh.
26, let's read verse 20.
Praise the mighty Yah.
And Azariah, and Azariah the chief priest, and all the priests looked upon him, and behold, he was leprous in his forehead. And they thrust him out from thence. Yea, himself hasted also to go out, because Yahweh had smitten him.
And this is the same thing that happened to Haman. This was Yahweh doing this.
Right,
It
right.
says, and Azariah, or Azariahu, the chief Kohen, and all HaKohen looked upon him, this guy that was in the wrong, and behold, he was leprous in his forehead. In other words, his forehead, he was a black man, but he started getting
Teacher, tell it like it. That's right. That's what lepers is. The definition of Yah
It said
leprosy.
they thrust him out from thence, and yea, himself, he hasted also. He hurried
Yeah.
to go out because Yahweh had smitten him. Why? He was in the wrong.
Right.
And then Yahweh was showing a mark on his forehead, a white spot on a black face.
Yeah.
He wanted to show him real quick. Go to Jeremiah 14.
Okay. Praise Yahweh. Yahweh means what he said and does what he says.
This man hurried out just like Haman. He had to do what the king said first before he could hurry home. Jeremiah 14.
Praise the mighty Yah.
And we're going to start at verse 3. Jeremiah 14. Let's read verse 3, please.
And their nobles have sent their little ones to the waters. They came to the pits and found no water.
Okay.
They returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed and confounded and covered their heads.
Right, so that they're up under a curse. It's
Yep.
They're
Just like it is on the shelf.
and then Yahweh's responding.
Just like
and let
today.
you know, hey, I'm not with you.
Yeah.
It said their nobles have sent their little
Yeah.
to Hamayim. They came to the pits and found no Mayim. They returned with their vessels empty. Yeah, without Yahweh, your vessel's gonna be empty.
And you will be
They were
ashamed.
ashamed and confounded and covered their
They
heads.
was confused.
Verse 4.
Because the ground is chaffed,
Yep.
for there was no rain in the earth.
Right.
The plowmen were ashamed.
Wow.
They covered their heads.
So they're up under a curse.
That's it.
The ground was chapped.
Yep.
And there was no dry. There was
Creeping
no
up.
rain in high earth. The plowmen were ashamed. They covered their heads. They knew, okay,
They know.
we have crossed
They
Yahweh.
knew, right? They
we have
knew.
done this.
Right.
And we need to get back right. Let's
Back
go back
on
to Hadassah,
Right.
the 6th chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah. That's all he asks you to repent, confess,
That's
and return to him.
Yeah, it's just that simple. Hadassah, the 6th chapter. Esther, the 6th chapter. We're going to start at verse 13. So
Praise
the last
the
time we
mighty
looked at
Yah.
Haman, he was going home mourning.
Yeah, he knew it was over.
It's kind of like, what do they call that? Bipolar. He was real happy one moment,
Yeah.
and then the next moment he's in the skid.
Yeah,
It's a roller
he's
coaster.
Confused.
All right, verse 13.
And Haman told Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh, his wife, unto him, If Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him.
This is what we need to understand about who we are.
Right.
We need to understand, not because we're so wonderful,
Right.
but Yahweh gave us a good sense to latch on to Him.
That's right. Praise
And
the mighty God.
to want to
Praise the
represent
mighty God.
Him.
You sure want this protection.
So then Haman went home and he told his wife and his friends everything that had happened.
Yeah.
Then all his Kakam, Adam, and Zeresh his Ishshah said unto him, If Mordecai be the seed of Hayadim, if he be Israel, before whom you've begun to fall, you haven't fallen all the way, but now you started going down.
Right.
You said you will not prevail again. You're not going to win. This is a losing battle.
Right.
But you shall surely fall before him.
Right.
I said, oh, it's bad news. Now they gave him that bad advice. Well, he was dumb enough to listen.
Yeah.
But it was in his mind. He started the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's just snowballing out of control. They said, you're surely going to fall before him. Verse 14, your goose is cooked. That's what they said. 14.
And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared.
Now he's still, as the saying goes, the other shoe hasn't dropped yet.
Okay.
And the other shoe dropping is when Esther lets him know that she's a Yadim.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the 7th chapter and start at verse 1. All right, so while he was telling them all this bad stuff and they told him, hey, you started going down, and he's a Yadim, then you're on the way down, but there's nothing that can keep you up. While they were telling him that, then the chamberlain said, okay, come to the banquet with the king and queen.
It's prepared.
Verse 1.
So the king and Haman came to banquet with Esther the queen.
2.
And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, What is the petition? What is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even to the half of the kingdom.
It's
We just
over.
keep seeing Yahweh's favor.
Right.
We just keep, it wasn't like, you can't look at this in a natural sense.
No, you
like,
cannot.
Esther was so beautiful. No, this is Yahweh working on the king.
Praise
and
the mighty
giving
God.
her favor.
Teach it, tell like
This
it
is
is on the shepherd
Yahweh
is for the ants.
preserving his people.
Yes.
And the king said again
It's
unto
a
her on the
promise.
second day. He said it on the first day. Well, actually, he said before they even started having the banquet.
That's right.
She touched the golden scepter. He said,
Teach it,
what is it
tell like
that
it.
you want? I'll give it to you.
Right
You need
up
to
into
have the
head,
kingdom.
my milk hoop.
And so then the first day of the banquet, he said it. Now here's the second day. He says, what's your petition, Queen Hadassah? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? It shall be performed, even to half of her malchut, half of the kingdom. Verse 3.
Then Esther the queen answered and said, If I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
And the king was like, what?
I know, right? Your people.
She said,
Your life and
then
people.
Hadassah the queen of Amar, if I have found favor in thy sight, O Melech, and if it please thy Melech, let my Kai be given me at my petition. And he's like, who's threatened
I'm saying.
the queen's life?
I know, right?
And my at my request.
Wow. He said, who is your people?
Verse 4.
For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue. Although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
Verse 5.
Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, Who is he, and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so.
Now the king, he's really like, who in the
Where
world,
he at?
who is this that would dare to presume
I know.
to harm you? But she's saying, we're sold, I and my people,
Right.
to be destroyed,
Yes,
to be
yup,
slain,
yup,
and to perish.
Right.
She said, even if we had been sold for slaves to
Right,
another
right.
kingdom,
I can deal with that.
But this,
Right.
he said that it's although the enemy, she said, I wouldn't have said anything. He said, then the king of Ahasuerus answered and said unto Hadassah the queen, who is he?
Right.
And where is he that would presume in his mind to do this to you and to your people? Verse 6.
And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
Wicked.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
All right, so now there's the other shoe dropping.
Yeah, the other.
Then Hadassah said, the adversary and enemy is this raw Haman.
Yeah.
Then Haman was afraid
I know
before
he was.
Haman and the queen. Verse 7.
And the king, arising from the banquet
Wow.
of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life
I know he
to
did.
Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
Huh.
All right, so now here's Haman. He's like, oh my goodness. Now he's falling down before the queen to beg for his life.
Right, right.
Now look how Yahweh has the king see it when he comes in.
Right.
He's thinking that he's trying to physically do something to,
Right.
again. This is just showing how Yahweh fights for us.
Yes, praise the
How
mighty
Yahweh is on
Yah. All
our
we gotta do
side.
is stand for
When
dust,
we're
says
right.
Yahweh.
When we're doing right.
He said the battle is
And
his.
we're for his people. All right.
Right.
So he's begging for his life. All right. When he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king, because the king, he had to walk out into the garden.
Right. He was so
angry
mad.
with Haman.
Yeah.
All right. Verse 8.
Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was.
Okay.
Then said
Big
the
mistake.
king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
You know,
It's over.
He's trying
It's over. Covered his face.
He had fallen on the bed where
Right.
Esther was trying to beg for his life. Then the king saw it. He's gonna force the queen
I know,
before
right?
me. He said, "In the buy it." And as the bar went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
Right.
Like, all right,
It's
that's
over.
it, buddy. It's over.
You know they did.
Verse 9.
And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon.
All right. Sure did. Look at the chamberlain. They're speaking up too.
Praise the mighty
made
Yah.
this
That's how
gallows
Yah
to
does
hang Mordecai on.
Yeah.
The one that did good by you,
Okay.
king.
Right.
He said, hey, hang him on it. Go to Yowm or Job, the 9th
Praise the
chapter.
mighty Yah. That's how he rose for us.
Yeah. Like they say, if you dig one ditch, you better dig two. The trap you set for me may be for you.
Yup. Praise the mighty Yah.
Because he put it in my heart and you can't change it.
No, he cannot.
No.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Job 9. Yeah, the chamberlain said, yeah, he
Yeah,
made
right.
the gallows for
Reminded
Mordecai.
him.
Hey, hang him on it.
Right? Praise Yahweh. He speaks to us all.
Yeah, we just, this is a good lesson for all of us on
Yes,
both
it
sides.
is.
What to do and what not to do.
Right.
Don't build stuff off of bad. No.
Something
It can't
Adam
profit.
has said.
No, that it's gonna backfire.
Yup.
Verse
Listen to
24.
Yah.
Job 9, and let's read verse 24.
Praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah. 24.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where, and who is he?
All right. So it looked like the earth is given into the hands.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But their day is coming.
You're right.
It says, he covered the face.
That's right. He said the day is coming. He covered their face.
Who is he? Oh, yes, he does. He covers them.
Right.
They're only going so far.
That's it.
Go to Psalms, the 7th chapter. So we don't have to get dismayed.
No, we do not.
You know, people, and they just do this, and don't nothing happen to just,
right.
just keep living.
Like you just said, they dig and they ditch.
And then don't be like these people that, I'll be glad when, Yahweh get them. See, because get them, Yahweh. No.
He said don't kick,
don't do that. Right.
He said don't do that.
Matter of fact, Yahweh said, if we go to rejoicing too much over how he's punishing the wicked, then he'll pull back.
Yep.
He says, because you got the wrong spirit. You don't rejoice no matter what somebody
he said that.
Don't be like that. That's wrong. He said he'll pull it back if you go to.
Yes, he will. Yes, he has.
Over them getting their punishment.
Right. It is written.
Psalm 7 and verse 16.
Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah.
His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own
fate. That's right, his own
will.
And it did. We just saw it.
For everybody.
On his own gallows. Go to Proverbs, the 11th chapter.
Praise Yahweh.
He had envisioned Mordecai hanging on those gallows.
Right. Came back on his head.
Sure did. Proverbs 11.
Praise the mighty Yah. Stay in Ruach with Yahweh.
And we're going to start at verse 5. Proverbs 11
Praise the mighty
verse
Yah.
5.
The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness.
He did it to himself. He's concocting all these schemes and doing all this, and he did it to himself.
Against the righteous.
Ha-Sadiq of the perfect or mature shall direct his way, but the rod of the wicked shall fall by his own rod, his own evil.
It is written.
Didn't anybody do anything to him? He stacked the bricks up against himself.
Right. He
Verse
dug his own ditch.
Verse 6.
The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but the transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness.
All the trap that they made, they're going to fall right into.
Their own haughtiness and vanity.
Let's go back to Hadassah or Esther, the 7th
Praise
chapter.
the mighty Yah.
So the righteousness of the upright, Tamim, shall deliver them.
Yes, it has. Yes, it will.
Transgressors shall be taken in their own
naughtiness.
Yes, so it's a trap.
Yes, it is.
They're not getting away.
No, you're not.
They are not. 7th chapter, and let's read verse 10.
Hallelujah.
So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai.
Okay.
Then was the king wrath pacified.
So the king he felt a little better after that. It said they hanged Haman on the gallows that he prepared for Mordecai. Then was Amalek's wrath pacified.
We let that
Let's go to Psalms 37. Psalms 37.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Esther, because we're coming back. Psalms 37. Yeah, it was pacified.
Yeah.
You give a baby a little pacifier.
Yeah, they calm down. Be at
Right.
Be at Shalom.
Okay, I got some justice.
Yeah.
Psalm 37 and starting verse 35.
Praise Yahweh.
Psalms 37 and verse 35 reads.
I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree.
Now, he's given us, this is the truth of what's happening.
Yup.
You look at wickedness and you see it spreading and they're acting like, I'm impenetrable, nothing's going to happen to me.
That's so they think.
We can just pass these laws and we can, this is legal and that's illegal, so we can just do this and nothing's going to happen to us. It says, I've seen
green
the wicked in great Michelle, spreading himself like a green bay tree, like it's always going to be like this.
Right. So
like he can always do wrong and nothing can touch
That's
it.
what they think.
Verse 36.
Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found.
So he just disappeared.
Right.
He passed away and he was not.
Right.
I was looking for him, but he could not be found.
Right.
He just totally disappeared. Go to Daniel or Daniel, the 6th chapter.
Praise Yahweh.
Yeah, just because they're spreading and
Right.
acting
Just
like
because it looks like
acting
that.
like everything is in cement
Yep.
and stone.
Just look
No, it's
around
not.
today.
No, it's not. Only Yahweh, what he says is in cement
It
and
is
stone.
written, it is
Everything
done.
else is temporary. Everything else is passing off the
That's
scene.
it.
Daniel
Teach it just like it is on the
6
shepherd so they don't
verse
know.
24. 6 and verse 24.
Teach it just like it is.
And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions.
Okay.
Them, their children, and their
Wow.
wives, and the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den.
Now,
Okay.
here's another scenario where this black slave was,
Okay.
these men didn't like him because he had been promoted to a high position.
Teach it
And
just
they
like it
didn't
is
like
on the
him
shepherd.
because he was worshiping Yahweh.
Yep.
And then every day he would have his windows open towards Jerusalem.
That's right. Wasn't no shame in
You know,
his
he
day.
will stand and face towards Jerusalem.
Right. Right.
And so they just didn't like him because
bow
he was
down.
different. And people don't like you
No, they
when
do
you're
not.
different. And
Amen.
Yahweh says,
Hallelujah.
I made you to be different.
That's right.
So
Peculiar people.
just, hey, forget about people and
Skip
just do what
them,
Yahweh
yeah.
said. But they set a trap for him.
Uh-huh.
They had a decree passed and
Right,
said,
right.
okay, King, we want you to sign this decree. If anybody asks a petition of any Elohim within the next 30 days, but
right,
you,
right. Teach it just
well,
like it
he's
is.
a man. He's not a God. He's not an Elohim.
Right, right.
Then, if anybody asks any petition of any Elohim but you in the next 30 days, then throw him in the lion's den.
Okay.
Because they said the only way we're going to trap this man is find something about his
Right.
Elohim, who
That's
we
right.
worship.
Praise the mighty
Alright?
God. That's
So
right.
then it says that Daniel, this black slave, he knew that they had signed this
Yeah, he
writing,
knew it.
and he went and he was praying,
He
doing the
came
same
even
thing
bolder.
he was doing. Then they went and they told the king, and then the king, he didn't want to put him in
Right,
lion's
right,
den,
right.
and he knew they had trapped him.
Yeah.
But then he said, you know what? Your Elohim that you serve,
Yes.
I hope he'll be able to
Yes, he
deliver you.
will. Yes, he
And
has.
so then the king spent the night fasting,
Right, right.
and then he went the next morning,
Early.
and he says, you know, Daniel, you still there? And then he says, O king, live forever.
Right, right.
Yahweh shut the lion's
Yes,
mouth.
he did. Praise the mighty. He can do that.
Now here's
Praise
the
the
end
mighty
of,
God.
just like Haman
Just-
built
yep,
the
yep.
gallows for Mordecai.
Right.
You see, when you're dealing with Yahweh's people and they're doing right,
Dealing wrong.
he said,
against
the king Shabbat, he commanded, and they brought those Adam that accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions.
Right, right.
Okay, not only them, now look, their children, they messed
Right,
their
the whole
children up,
family. That's what it
and
does.
their wives.
That's right.
And
You
the
do
lions
wrong,
was getting them in
It
midair.
affects your whole family.
Let's go back to Hadassah or Esther, the 8th chapter. So, I mean, we just really have to be careful.
Yep.
Because we can bring good on our family, or we
It
can
is
bring
written.
bad on our
It is
family.
written. It is written.
Hadassah 8 or Esther 8, and we're going to start at verse 1.
It is written.
On that day did King Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen.
Okay.
And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto
Okay.
Okay, so now she's revealing
Yeah.
her, you know, her heritage,
Right,
and
right.
she's letting him know this is my adopted father.
Yeah, yeah.
Says, on that Yowm did Hamelech Ahasuerus give Habite of Haman, Yadim's enemy, unto Hadassah the
Yeah.
queen. And then Mordecai came before Hamelech, for Hadassah had told what he was to her, which was her adopted father. Verse 2.
And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai.
Okay.
And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman.
Now, so Haman not only got hanged on the gallows,
Yeah.
but now he's giving him Mordecai, Haman's house.
Right. He got
And
promoted.
the king, it says he took his ring,
Right.
which he had taken from Haman,
Yeah.
now he's giving it to Mordecai.
Yep.
And again, this is not in unrighteousness.
No,
This
it
is just
wasn't.
Yahweh showing us how he's for us and how he protects
Yes,
us.
praise the mighty
He wants us.
Yes, he will.
He wants us to stand up
Yep.
when we've learned how to act and how to be to
That's right.
represent
Represent
him. He
him.
wants people to see us.
Yes.
All right, verse 3.
And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews.
Okay.
All right, verse 4. Because
Then-
she still got to deal with the decree saying
Right.
to annihilate them.
Right,
All
right.
right, verse 4.
Then the king held out the golden scepter towards Esther. So Esther rose and stood before the king,
5.
and said, If it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the things seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces.
6.
For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kingdom?
Right.
All right, so there's supposed to be something in us as far as nationhood, as far as caring about our people.
Teach it tell like it is on the Shabbat.
There's supposed to be something in us. She said, how can I endure to see this
That
evil
Ruach of
that
Yahweh.
will come upon my people? To see the destruction of my kingdom.
Right, right.
Go to Nehemiah or Nehemiah, the second
Praise the
chapter.
mighty Yah.
Nehemiah, second chapter.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise
And
the mighty
verse
Yah.
3. So there's supposed to be something within us that
Right.
cares,
Yeah,
about,
sure. The Ruach of Yahweh should be in
cares
you.
about our nation. And not wanting to see them do bad.
That's right.
Nehemiah 2 and 3.
And said unto the king, Let the king live forever.
Right.
Why should not my countenance be sad when the city, the place of my father's sepulture, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire?
So now here's this other black man that was enslaved